Now, you're now on the LPGA tour, but you're still a very young girl. You're 18, 19, 20 years old. You must have missed your family. You must have missed all your friends back in South Africa. It must have been very tough.
It was hard.
Especially for a girl.
Yeah, you're right.
It's tough for a guy, but it's a girl, it's even more difficult.
It really was, in the sense, I remember my first year on tour, I only played 7 events, Dale, because I was so homesick. And I ended up finishing Rookie of the Year, and I was terribly unhappy. Came home, and I said to my parents, I'm not liking this one, but because I'm not achieving anything. I should have won by now. You know, that's the attitude of a 19-year-old. So my dad was very instrumental in guiding me through this. And for the first 3 years, I came home more than I played in the US. And I said to him finally, I said, I'm not liking this too much. And he said, you know, Sal, fair enough. You can stop any time if you're not liking it. But I know your personality. In years to come, if you don't really give it a full chance, you're never going to be happy. And he said, I'll tell you what you should do. You should play for 12 months and not come home. We'll come to see you. I said, you'll come? And they came out for 5 weeks. I won my first event. And then...
While your dad was there?
While my parents were there. It was so exciting. And every time they were around, I won. You know, people think that you get pressure from family, but not with mine. I just loved them being alongside of me. And the career took a whole new turn. I had, I think, 6 top 10s. And I said, boy, I'm kind of liking this. I can get used to this. And that was the change. And the career just started to grow from there.
Tell us about the majors that you won. Because some of them were pretty exciting.
You know, I think they're golfers and golfers. I was one of those players that really geared for majors. The tougher the competition, the course, the more I aspired to rev up my game. And I don't know if you feel that way too. When some people just compete every week to win. I wasn't that type of player. And often my friends would say, but you're not competitive enough. I said, I am. I'm working towards the next major. My first major was the LPGA Championship, which is the most sought after. A lot of South Africans wouldn't know that, in the sense they look at the US Open or the British Open as being the greatest tournaments. As a professional, when you win your own major championship, it's such a great honor amongst your peers. So for me to have won my first major as being the LPGA, it meant a great deal to me because I'd finally reached that level of being able to compete against them.
Who did you actually beat in that?
I beat Nancy Lopez.
One of the best.
Jane Blaylock. She was number 2 or 3, and Nancy. I had such great rivalries with Nancy and Jane. And Jane is still mad at me today. She's one of my best friends that she's never won a major. And she holds that against me to this day. And
tell us about the other majors.
The other major was the Canadian Ladies Open, and that came at the latter part of my career in 1988. That was more of a win coming back from adversity. I'd been not well for several years fighting a female disorder, and I was off the tour in my prime from about 1983 for 2 or 3 years. I really did not compete that much. So coming back and winning another major that late in my career, it was an incredible experience. And in Canada, in Vancouver, I felt like I was in Cape Town. All these Canadians came out, and these South Africans came out to watch me. And what was so exciting about that win, Dale, I remember I hadn't played very well at all for a good 12 months. And I was frustrated. We'd just come from a very big event in Delaware, And I wasn't feeling too happy about my game, and we had to fly all the way to Canada, long flight. Get there, I'm tired. And I just said, you know, Sal, you're just putting too much pressure on yourself. You're not going to go practice at all. You're just going to go walk the course. No practice this week. And I just went and walked the course, looked around a bit, and the first round I shot 74. You feel, huh? And then I think I shot 66, and I ended up shooting another 69. My final round was paired with the next superstar, Laura Davies. And Laura Davies had just come off winning the US Open, and another very long hitter by the name of Sherry Turner. And here is old pipsqueak pea shooter teeing it up with these two big guns. And Laura Davies, honest to goodness, they did a swing speed at an event with John Daly for national television. Her swing speed was quicker than John's. John wasn't too happy about that. It was on national television, they did the swing speed. So yeah, I have this lady, and she's out driving me by 75 meters. That's how far this woman still hits the ball. And Sherry was 40 yards ahead of me. And I just said, just compete. And I was one shot ahead going into the final. And we got to about the 16th hole. I was still a shot ahead of them. And I three-putted. And now how you berate yourself going down. I'm going into 17. Now I'm even with her. And she's hitting monster drives, wedges, and I'm hitting 4-iron in. 17, she hits a monster drive. I hit it in the bunker with my second shot. Isn't it amazing how you can remember? I remember hitting the shot in the bunker, and I said, well, I can get this up and down. She two putts, I knock it like this, make a 4, get to 18. I said, now Sal, longest par 4, you got to make a birdie. You got to make a birdie. So she blocks, I hit it down the middle, she blocks it so far in the trees, you have to get one of those machines to cut down the trees. I think, oh boy, I've got a chance here. Sherry is one shot behind, she plays up. I hit it on the green about 30 feet. And Laura's in the trees, and you can just hear the sound that came out of there. Crash, boom. She launches this cut out of there. I don't know how she did it. Big fade, plonk into the bunker next to the green. And I'm walking up and I'm saying, you know, Sal, you don't want to go into playoff with this one. You got no chance. You're done. You got to make this putt. And I had this putter. My father had passed away, and I was playing with his putter. And I didn't like it very much, but I just thought I'm going to use my dad's putter. And I nailed this putt of 30 feet. I jumped so far up in the air. I mean, they got a picture of me, and I think I was three feet off the ground, into my caddy's arms, and Laura's just standing there like this with a big grin on her face, and I won. So those are great memories.
She's a terrific character, Laura.
Wonderful.
Dame Laura
She's a
Davies.
dame, yeah.
Let's talk about her. Let's talk about Nancy Lopez, Lorena Ochoa, and Nika Sorenstam. They've been the great players that have played during your time.
Nancy Lopez, what a competitor. Didn't have a great golf swing, but she knew how to use her swing. In competition, she won like 7 in a row. We had great rivalries together. I think I beat her twice in 2 playoffs during my career with her. One was a wonderful memory, was the Dinah Shore, which I consider, it became a major year after I won it in '82. But we were paired together in the final round, and I ended up shooting 64, beating her by 10 shots. And she came off and she said, you know, I'm so frustrated. I thought I was playing really well. And then you shoot 10 under. So I said, well, it just happened. She said, wow. So we had this really nice, but a beautiful, warm rivalry throughout our careers. One memory I remember from her, she basically had she'd gone into semi-retirement, and her husband was walking with her. It was an event in up in Rochester, was her home ground. She won there so many times, and we got paired together the final round. And she shot 67 and I shot 68. We just like elevated each other's games. And her husband came to us afterwards. He said, you know, I've seen my wife play, but boy, what a beautiful exhibition of competition between two champions. You could just see how you just rose to each other's challenge, and you did it in such a graceful way. That's one of my best memories.